Ah! What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden, and today is actually a new video series, I guess you can call it, where I'm just gonna vlog. Every Wednesday from now on, I'm gonna give you guys a vlog, tell you what's going on with my life, tell you guys just what I'm thinking about, whether it be for the channel, whether it be for my car, whether it be for just my life in general. I don't know, just so you guys know me better than just some guy who tells you to buy cheap cars. I want you guys to know who Mark Roden is. And so that's kind of what we're going to do. Today, actually, we're just going to talk about, what car I should get next, okay? I need you guys' help with that. I'm just asking you guys. I'm going to tell you guys which ones I'm thinking of and all that good mumbo jumbo. Obviously, I'm the guy who tells you cheap cars, right? That's my whole thing. But even I, when trying to buy a new car, don't know what to get. So don't worry, it's not just you. But pretty much, a little bit of backstory for you. In case you don't know, I've had the PT Cruiser since 2018. It was my first car. My dad gave it to me. Shout out him. And at this point, I didn't take good care of it. It's all my fault. I know. I'm not trying to say. Honestly, I got to be honest. Even though the PT Cruiser is hideous, those are pretty well-built cars. They're reliable. I'm not gonna lie. That thing has never given me any sort of major problems. Every time it does give me a problem, it's something very minor and very easy to fix, and it's very cheap usually. So huge shout out to the PT Cruiser. I'm not gonna lie. But at this point in my life, I'm 22. I've had the car for 4 years, and I just need a new daily driver. The 350Z is cool. I love that car, but it's not a daily. It's a project car, something that I'm building to have fun with my friends and stuff like that. So I'm thinking about getting a daily driver, obviously. But I'm a car guy. I like cars. I like cool cars. I like going fast. I like all that stuff. So I'm not going to go out and buy a Camry. I'm not going to go out and buy a Honda CR-V. I'm going to buy something that I actually want to enjoy and drive that's also still reliable in a daily driver. So obviously, since I want both those things, it's a little bit more money. So now I'm really worried because I'm going to be dropping a large lump sum of cashola on this new car, and I don't want to make a bad decision. So I've come up with a bunch of different ideas of cars that I want, and I'll run them by you. Pretty much, first of all, it needs to be something that can either be all-wheel drive or front-wheel drive, or if it is going to be rear-wheel drive, it has to be very low power. So something like a Subaru Brz. That's one of the thoughts I've been thinking of, is the first generation BRZs. They're around $10,000 to $15,000 right now. I could pay it off. I'm not gonna be able to buy that outright, obviously, but I could use it. I could finance it. So I was thinking of that, but like I said, it is rear-wheel drive. It's very small, and I don't think I really want that one just because they are so slow. They only have 200 horsepower. Like, that's really nothing great. But that's one of the cars I was thinking of. Another car, and a really big one actually that I'm thinking of, is the Infiniti G37 Coupe. I really want one of those. They can be all-wheel drive. They have around 330 horsepower. I'm pretty sure that's to the crank though, not to the wheels, but still 330 horsepower, 4 seats, good interior, has all these paddle shifters, push to start, infotainment systems, nice digital gauges. It's a really nice looking car in my opinion. It has a VQ, and I'm already familiar with the VQ, so that'd be good. And yeah, I can modify it to make it look really cool, at least in my opinion. I think the G37 Coupes look really great. So that one's definitely one that's on my mind. They usually cost around 10 grand for a G37 Coupe, which isn't that bad either. It's a like 2013 car for 10 grand with like 100,000 miles on it. That's a pretty good deal in my opinion. So definitely think about getting that one. The next one I'm thinking of is a Hyundai Genesis Coupe. You guys all know how much I love the Genesis Coupe on this channel. We all talk about the Genesis Coupe a lot. A lot of you guys like the Genesis Coupes. I really want one still, and I don't think I'll ever not want a Genesis Coupe, but the only problem with a Genesis Coupe is that they are rear-wheel drive. I live up in New England. I need an all-wheel drive car to drive around during the winter, and like I said before, as long as it has low horsepower, then rear-wheel drive's okay, and it's not that big of a deal. But the Genesis Coupes, honestly, they have pretty decent horsepower. I could get a BK1 2.0 turbo, and then it's going to have only like 220 horsepower, I believe. But at that point, now it's too boring. Because the thing with the Subaru Brz is, yes, it only has 200 horsepower, but it's low, it's lightweight, it can handle corners really well. The Genesis Coupe is heavy. This 240 horsepower isn't going to feel that great in a Genesis Coupe. So I'd want a BK2, but then the BK2 has too much horsepower, so it's just kind of like a big issue. The one thing about Genesis Coupes, though, is they are way cheaper than like all my other options that I'm thinking of, because I guess not a lot of people want them. I don't know why. They're such cool cars, but yeah, nobody really wants Genesis Coupes. So I found one for like $5,500 with only 80,000 miles on it, clean title, perfect condition, and it was a BK2. I wanted to buy it so bad, but I shouldn't do it. Anyway, the next one is a BMW E92, either a 328xi or a 335xi. I want, obviously, an all-wheel drive model because, like I said, I need all-wheel drive. The only problem with the BMWs now is I think they look great. I think they have an insane tuning platform behind them. And they're actually quite, people are always like, oh, they're so unreliable. BMWs are so unreliable. They're not. They're very reliable, actually. It's just that they have certain problems where if you don't address them, then yeah, it's going to get unreliable. On top of that, if you add power to an N54 motor, it's gonna give you some troubles, which kind of sucks. And so you can't really like build the motor and keep it as a daily driver if you want. You can only do one or the other. So either you're going to build it and it's going to become a new like project car, or you can have a daily driver, but you got to keep it stock. And I don't really like that about it. One day though, I promise I'm going to own a BMW, hands down. Don't worry. If you like BMWs as much as I do, I freaking love BMWs. I think they're one of the coolest car brands out there. I'm going to own one eventually. Just I don't think it's going to be the next one, but I am thinking of it. So if one of you guys can convince me, maybe I'll go with that one. And then the last one that I'm really thinking about is the Audi A5 8T. This is probably the least one that I want the most on my list of cars here. It just doesn't seem like it does it for me. It only has 220 horsepower. It's a very heavy car. I do think it looks really good, and especially if you modify it, it can look really good. But it's also very unreliable. Almost everybody out there is telling me you probably shouldn't buy this Audi A5. It's an unreliable car. I just don't think that it's going to be the one I get. It's also very expensive to repair. It's a very expensive car to buy in general. It's not a cheap car right now. It just doesn't seem really worth it compared to the competition to me right now. On top of that, I like BMW better than Audi, so I probably would never get it. I do love the Audi A5, and that's why I thought of it. I was like, you know, maybe I'll get this one, but I just don't, at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to happen. But those are the 5 cars that I'm like really thinking of getting as my next daily driver. But I want to talk to you guys about the project car thing, because the other day I mentioned in one of my videos plans on the channel, and I said I want to be buying something like a new drift car, something like an SC300, an IS300, an E30, E36, Miata, FCR X7, something like that I want to buy too. I still want to do that, okay? Don't get me wrong, just because I'm buying this new daily driver, yes, it's going to take me a little bit longer in order to buy this like new drift car or new project car, whatever it ends up being. But it doesn't mean that I'm not going to do it. I'm definitely going to do that eventually, whether it be the death of me. Okay, I will make it happen. I just need a daily driver. I absolutely need it. It's like, I don't need a drift car, you know what I mean? It's not something that I need to buy right now. I don't need to buy another project car. I already have the 350Z for that. I need something to replace the PT Cruiser, and so I'm just making the responsible decision here, folks, and I'm not gonna go with a drift car just yet. Eventually, maybe next year, maybe next like April, yes, I will be buying myself another project car, something like an E30 or something like that, and we'll definitely talk about that when the time gets close. But don't worry, people, that's not ever gonna like stop. I have plans, you know. I have huge plans for this channel. I have huge plans for my life, and I'm just trying to figure it all out right now, and it would make my life so much less stressful if I had just something that I could daily drive and not have to worry about the PT Cruiser. And obviously that's why I'm buying like a G37 Coupe, is that it will still be a good car to watch on YouTube. You guys can I can still make content out of it. I can still have fun with this G37. It just won't be the like a budget build like I was planning on doing with the drift cars. That's going to happen, and like I said, if I buy this G37 Coupe and the next week I find a freaking running driving SC300 with a manual transmission in it for like $500, obviously I'll buy that. Obviously I'm going to drive that car and have fun with it. That's a great deal. But right now I'm just not too focused on buying the new project car, but it will come eventually, especially if the channel keeps doing as good as it does. If the channel keeps doing as good as it does, and I keep making as much as I am, by all means I'll definitely buy a new project car, because I'll have the money to do that. But yeah, I'm just trying to get life figured out in that sort of sense, and I need a daily driver, so that's why I'm thinking about getting one of those. But let me know between those 5 cars what you guys think is the best one out of those options, and let me know if you have any other daily driver options that are still fun to drive for me as a car enthusiast, I guess you could say. Well, once again, it has to be either front-wheel drive, preferably all-wheel drive though, and pretty reliable and pretty inexpensive, while still being cool and being able to make content on. And guys, yes, I know that you guys probably want me to buy like an EG Civic or an EK Civic, but I really just don't want another old car. I want something that's newer right now, something that's relatively new, like maybe 10 years old, that I can enjoy and not have to worry too much about everything breaking on it. Even though I understand, you know, these EK Civics and EG Civics are easy to work on. I get it. It won't be that stressful if you own one of those cars. It's just that I want something new. I see all of my friends driving around with these backup cameras and push to start and all this leather fancy dancy interior, and it looks nice. I just want to have that luxury for while I'm daily driving it, because that's what a daily driver is for. Those other cars, I love them, but they're a little bit old now. They're a little bit outdated. I want one for sure. I will get one hopefully one day, but the next thing is going to be the daily driver for sure. So like I said, let me know if you guys have any other ideas. Let me know if which one you think out of all my ideas is the best one. I'm thinking the G37 Coupe. It's looking the best. They're all-wheel drive, reliable. They look really good in my opinion. They have tons of aftermarket support for them, and they have all these nice interior bells and whistles on it that I like personally a lot. So probably going to end up going with that one. But if somebody can change my mind, then I'll go with whatever you change my mind to. But thank you guys so much for watching. New series, I guess. It's not even really a series. It's just going to be vlogs. I'm just going to talk to you every week on Wednesdays about something going on, whether it be in my life, in YouTube's life, in my car's life. Something is going to be I'm going to be talking about. So thank you guys so much for watching. Das Vidania. Have a nice night.